This one concept will make overcoming problems easy. So you want life to flow with ease, like you're living in a movie. The problem is life is a constant war with mini battles every week and every day. As soon as you overcome one, another one pops up, and this makes you feel like all odds are against you. It shouldn't be like this. If you're getting any value out of these videos, make sure to press subscribe below. Let's jump into it and get into some creative philosophy today. What if you were living in a movie? Stay with me. The thing about movies is they are driven by story, and story is boring without conflict and problems. The characters never learn or grow without overcoming these problems. So the thing is, you are a hero of your own story, and you find guides along the way to help you through the external, internal, and philosophical problems that you have. You have an aspirational identity, this ideal person that you want to become, and needs and wants that drive you to become the version of yourself that overcomes these problems. So I've been studying story for about 10 years now, and been diving much deeper into it recently, to the point where I'm kind of treating my life like an extended TV series. And every problem is like a mini episode in that series. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think this theory really helps me grow. So stick around and I'll teach you how. I can identify my problems sooner, as well as the most effective way to overcome them. So let's quickly dive into the structure of a story, and then I'll tell you how it can change your life. So there's a lot of different elements to a story, and there's a lot of different frameworks that screenwriters and scriptwriters and filmmakers follow to actually create stories and the story structure. But by far the most simple one to follow is Dan Harmon's story circle. So Dan Harmon is both the creator of Community and Rick and Morty and many other really amazing things. And his story circle looks a little something like this. Number one is the comfort zone. The character is in a place that they know already. Number two is need or desire. The character has a need or a desire to actually move forward and get something or change something. Number three is the unfamiliar situation. Their need or desire propels them into a new situation, which can be a little overwhelming, and they need to adapt to that situation. Number four is adaptation. It's how do they actually adapt to that situation. Number five is get what they want. They actually get the thing that they set out to get. Number six is they pay a heavy price for it. They actually pay or they lose something for getting what they want. Number seven is they return to their comfort zone. And number eight is having change. So that's a very, very quick overview of it. There's a lot of little things inside of each one of those that we could spend ages unpacking. But for the sake of this video, I'll just give you a quick overview, and I would encourage you to go and check that out. There's a bunch of other videos that dive deeper into that story structure, and it's basically how all movies, films, TV shows, books, everything is modeled off of. So as I said, there's a few different kind of story structures, but that's by far the simplest one, and I won't dive too much deeper into it as it's relatively self-explanatory, and it will make more sense as I go on. So basically every story follows a similar pattern. And while it may ruin movies for you, if you pay attention, it will definitely help you overcome problems quicker if you use it in the context of your own life. So before I integrated this theory into my life, I had day-to-day problems just like everyone else. And sometimes it would take me a very long time to kind of sort through the problem and get to the other side. At any given time, there's, a few small problems and a few medium and maybe even a few large problems in life. And when you get rid of one, a new one just kind of pops up. That's how life goes, and it's chaos, isn't it? And if these aren't managed or have steps laid out to actually overcome them, they can get really overwhelming, and I just shut off and don't want to deal with any of them and procrastinate and do something completely different to even, what I'm supposed to be doing. Can you relate to that? Please tell me I'm not alone. So this happened all too often, especially with technology. I'm working with tech on a day-to-day basis, and so many tiny things go wrong. Sometimes it's like a 2 or 3 hour process to kind of overcome them and understand that actual technical issue. Tiny frustrating things would just build up, and they got worse because I never took action to solve them. In short, my problem was that I didn't have an effective way to recognize and overcome problems of all sizes, which was making me more stressed than I needed to be, and life was hard enough already. It wasn't until I started this new job that I'm in right now as head of video for a marketing company that we enrolled in an online university called Business Made Simple. It's run by Donald Miller, who has written several fantastic books. But the one that caught my attention in my business about a year ago was called Building a Story Brand. This might seem like I'm getting off track, but stay with me. So it's all about integrating story within your business. And if you're into business at all, check this book out. Really highly recommend it. So in short, you kind of use one of these story structures or frameworks to position your company as the guide and your customer as the hero, so that you can kind of help sell your products more effectively and make your customer feel good when they overcome a problem, Anyway, this course became my life for the next few months. We integrated it into everything we do at work, and having the elements of story front of mind so often led me to come up with this theory and perceive my life differently. After non-stop seeing everything as a story, I was seeing how movies would unfold before they even got past Act 1. I had integrated it into every minute of my existence. I had kind of adapted to the story life, and it was good, but I was a little bit obsessed with it, and still am, obviously, which is why I'm making this video. It wasn't until a few weeks ago that a few of these small and medium problems started to pile up and basically had me pulling my hair out and not being productive at all. And I was kind of sitting there just like so flustered and just identifying each one of these little problems. And they weren't major, they weren't life-threatening or anything, but there was a few of them and they were kind of stacking up, and I was just naming them one by one, like, oh, this is a problem, this is a problem, and this is a problem. And then I went, hang on a second. I've actually just identified all these different problems, and I realized that characters have problems. Generally, the hero of the story is the character who has to overcome problems to become a different person. What if that character was me? I jumped into action and quickly started to deconstruct each one of these problems, and became very easy to see the steps a character would take to defeat each villain or overcome each problem to come out as the hero. I immediately started taking action on these problems and laying out exactly what I needed to do. It seemed so simple to me then. I kind of used that 8-step structure that I showed you before in a little bit more detail, positioning myself as the hero of my story, and I had all these little problems and kind of laid out exactly what that hero would have to do to overcome these problems and become a better person. And it kind of inflicted motivation on me to actually overcome these problems, because who doesn't want to be a hero? Who doesn't want to be the hero of their story? And if that is you and you are the hero of your story, what would that hero do to actually overcome these problems? It's so easy to kind of sit there and wallow in your problems. It is. And especially when they're piling on top of each other and there's more than one. But, if you kind of position your mindset to that of you being a hero and you have to overcome this problem to get what you want, I just found it to be much easier to actually overcome that problem. Then I realized, why don't I treat my life this way? My mini problems are episodes of my TV show, and my major problems are season finales of my TV show, and as the protagonist, I had to overcome them to grow. This allowed me to see my life in a much more structured way and recognize problems based on how I feel much more quickly. I suddenly had a framework to overcome them more efficiently and therefore progress at a faster rate, because I could slay each dragon before I even got to the dragon's den. It kind of felt like magic, but I immediately kind of integrated this theory to kind of test it into my life, and it just became so much easier to kind of recognize these problems as soon as they popped up and, realize what I would have to do to overcome them, rather than just letting them sit there. I could see that, oh, I feel this way. Why do I feel this way? Well, because I have a problem. And then I just suddenly put it into that story structure, and it just became obvious what I had to do. Unfortunately, a lot of viewing experiences have now been completely ruined for me. I was always analyzing them since school and film school, but now I'm just in overdrive every time I'm watching something rather than enjoying the film. This is a trade-off that I'm kind of okay with, considering the gain that I get out of it. but it does kind of suck though. I still have a lot of problems of all sizes, and they arise all the time, seemingly out of nowhere. And I feel like I make half of them up, but that's a whole topic for another video. It's just a little easier to navigate through life now. So look, am I recommending to integrate story into everything you do? No, but I do encourage you to learn story, and you probably won't be engulfed by it like my life has been in the last few months, and that's okay. You know, you probably don't have to dive into it that deep, considering, you know, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a storyteller myself, so it's probably more important to myself than it might be to you, unless you're a filmmaker as well. But yeah, I do encourage you to kind of learn story, maybe watch 1 or 2 videos kind of on that structure, just to kind of see where stories are, because you'll start to notice that it's absolutely everywhere, from advertising to, you know, books and video games and movies, and literally everything is telling a story and positioning you somewhere in this story. And it really is mind-blowing just how common this theme is. Just remember that you are the hero of your TV show or movie, and things will get in your way, but it's how you overcome those things and return to a new normal that defines how quickly you can grow. There's always a few storylines going on at any given time, and just maybe this framework will help you recognize these problems before you get way too stressed out about them. Once you understand how important story is to humans and how much humans connect with story and how it's everywhere, you can command attention, tell better stories, have better relationships, you know, have more people kind of engaged in what you're saying at a party, you know. And the other thing is, it's just fun to tell stories. It's not about manipulating or lying. You might just kind of dramatize things a little bit and inject different language into your story to make it seem that more exciting in how you tell it. But I'm very confident that it will actually improve your life. So for those paying extra special attention, I would love to know if you picked up on the hidden theme throughout this video. Otherwise, just let me know what you think of this concept below. Let me know if you're into story already, or what you've learned about story, or how you see that story is everywhere. It's a very interesting concept, and it's definitely really helped me progress. And I think I'm going to try and continue using this mindset when problems come up, so that I can kind of get through them a little bit more quickly. Thank you so much for watching. It's been awesome hanging out with you again. Hopefully you made it all the way through this video. Please let me know what you think about it below. Keep creating, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell button, because I like hanging out with you. I'll see you in the next video.